Yes, yes, I understand.
Now we're in progress.
Okay.
Welcome to our Harmony Power broadcast. I want to welcome the amazing Grandmaster Kyoshi Sensei Derrick Williams.
Right.
Welcome, sir.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me, John.
Why I have you on this show, there's been these mass shootings in Buffalo.
Yes.
Once again, a person, that hates on people of color, on Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just exhausting and tiresome. And to me, one way to deal with it is start to really begin to recognize those people like you that have made a tremendous difference in the world.
I appreciate that.
Yes. So want to rewind the tape, how we know each other a little bit, but in a small but powerful way. So I want the world who's watching right now, this is 1984, the Empire State Games. And there were about 30 black belts of all levels somehow thrown into a division. I guess they didn't want to separate us. And I was this fresh new black belt, and you were the master. In fact, you were a person that my dad said, if I saw you there, that in itself was a treat that I need to watch. Well, anyway, I didn't know. I ended up competing with you. It was just not even on my radar because I just got my black belt. You were a 26-year-old master at that time, I remember.
Right.
And I, by chance, fought a Kung Fu master, and by luck, I wouldn't say skill, I would just say my dad said, if the man yells and he squats in that low stance, as soon as they yell, just hit him.
Right, absolutely.
I did it twice, and we hit with power. My system was very similar to yours. It was like we drove with power. Full contact was our game. And I knocked the guy down on one side, knocked him on the ground on the other side. Match was over. And I'm like, that was fast, right?
Right.
And then you step forward. And I'm looking and I'm like, no. And it says Master Williams on the gi. And there's the frayed black belt. Like a lot of people call themselves master, like
Right.
But like, it's clear you were training, right?
Right.
And the training was deep. And they could see that there was a spirituality in your approach. It wasn't like you're out to kill, you were out to play.
Right.
And I was out just to survive while you were out to I gotta survive this match. Like I just want to go home, right? So I threw everything at you but the kitchen sink. And as I'm moving and throwing these firing off movements, because that's what a beginner black belt does. They're not like this tamed,
I understand.
You're just firing off. You just want to, hopefully that works. And you smirked and you moved and you do movements. And I scored maybe 1 point to your 3. And then the clock ran out and you win. But the crowd cheered me on because I was like, a possibility in a game. And you admired my talent as a beginner black belt. And that was our connection.
Right.
Fast forward years later, Alan Goldberg's event in Atlantic City, the Hall of Fame event. I go to get the award, and I hadn't seen you in all that time. And you recognized me.
Right.
Ran up. It took the trophy. And
Yes.
Here. That meant more than the trophy to me.
Right. Exactly.
Right. I mean, no offense to Alan, but I'm like,
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But your energy and the real training and the spirit that came from you.
Yes.
Forgot. So I said, me doing this show is so important because I want to recognize, I recognize all people. But right now it's like, people of color that are leaders in the community, because I'm recognizing kids in mass volume. We have the first mandated anti-bullying program in U.S. history in the whole city of Elizabeth, 28,000 kids. So I got that one. But it's those leaders, those people that have been around the game, been through such incredible adversity, like you, that are making the difference on this planet for a long time.
Right.
It's people like you, they should be front and center in the world where people could see it and learn from you, hear what you think, what you say, what you've done.
Yes.
And that's how you change the existing situation in the world.
Yes.
So you grew up in the South Bronx.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me what happened to you. I mean, I can't imagine the adversity and the choices that you made that were different.
Yes. Okay. Growing up in the South Bronx, it was very, very challenging, if you will. I come from a family of 9.
Wow.
Okay. And I believe I'm number 7, because after okay. And I just really, like I said, all I had, even when I didn't know I had, it was the faith of God and the faith of doing what I do. Now,
I'm sorry, when you say God, was there a particular God, or is it just the
well,
creator?
right. Okay. What I don't believe in division.
Mhm.
I believe in universal. So regardless to what you call him, if you're Jewish or if you're a Muslim or whatever, it's still that universal power. So
Mhm.
that's how I look at it. And one thing, and remind me, because I want to talk on, you had also asked me about racism, and I'm gonna talk to you about that. Um, but growing up, it's I had to have on binders, that listen, I I ran into something that I love, and I became very, very passionate about it. And that was my introduction to karate at the age of 6 years old.
Mhm.
That was it for me. I just kept going. And John, all just that spirit of belonging to something,
Right.
belonging to something that's really relevant and prosperous, and something that you got to work hard at, knowing that nobody's going to give you nothing. The only way you're going to get it is hard work. And if you're not willing to put in that work, go home.
Right.
That's it. So believe it or not, this is the mindset that was developing. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I had it at a young mind, because I had my little twist and turn. And to sit up here and say, oh, I knew what I wanted. No, I didn't know what I wanted, because I'm only a 6-year-old child, mind you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's that feeling of belonging to something outside of your immediate family, having that something that's an extended family, somebody who believe in you, telling you that you can do it. So again, having vision, if you will, having a vision where, listen, I'm going to do this. So John, I fell in love with it. And I felt it was hard days. It wasn't easy. I fell in love with it. And that's what really kept me going. John, I seen drug addicts, teenage pregnancy. I had to walk through all of that. I had to walk. I mean, and that's what I did. I mean, bullies. I had to walk through all of that, and my determination. I don't know where it come from, but I said, listen, I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
And John, even to this day, always straightforward, and that's really what it is. It's just really believing in something that's not just anything, because you can believe in something that's really not conclusive to who you are or what you striving to be.
Mhm.
But I found something that it was almost like a calling that I didn't know I had. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. That's all I had. Just keep doing it. And
You were
that's what I did.
unstoppable.
Right, right,
Unstoppable. Like there's
right,
just nothing going to get in your way.
right. Exactly. Because at that time, John, that's all I had.
Mhm.
I mean, that's all I had. When I said that's all I had family, but I had something personal to believe in.
Yeah.
You understand? Because you can come from a family, you got that family, but what do you have for yourself?
Right.
And then once you come into a realization that you have something that you can love and that can love you back. So it's like we say in Japanese, otogai, which means mutual respect.
Mhm.
You don't just bow to the sensei bows back to you as well.
That's right.
So that's a balance. But if you got a dojo or dojang or kun, whatever, that you bow to the sensei and he's sitting up there like, oh, I'm such and such, and he doesn't bow back, that's a
Right.
problem.
Well, it's a problem in some of these schools when you try to leave the school and you're
Right,
ostracized, you're not loved on the way out the doorway, then
right,
there's an issue.
right, right. And then you also got, John, where you start to rise. and individuals in your dojo start to get a little
Yeah.
jealous.
Yeah, and they start to compete. And they want to,
Absolutely.
and they
And see,
the sparring, they do those little digs
right,
at you and try to control you. Yeah.
right. And see, John, my attitude was never to compete. My attitude was to complete.
Right.
See,
No,
so it's a
right.
right. So it's a different mindset.
Right.
I'm here not to compete. I'm here to complete.
Right.
Complete what? Complete the course, complete the things that the teacher tell me that I have, the homework or the hard work that we have to do. So I'm never here to compete. I'm here to complete.
Right.
You know, so that's, you know, so that's my whole attitude. Just walk straight forward, put on your binders, have goals. Okay. And you know, with all of this mass shooting, it pains my heart as well. Because John, these little kids did not have the opportunity that
Right.
we had.
That's the thing that gets me angry, right? So
Right, me too. Go ahead.
I went from a situation with my mother. She was, you know, she had, she was on drugs and the whole thing, but you know, she came out of it. She's been clean for a long time, but the short of time, we were in Brooklyn, and then we ended up moving into the projects in Coney Island. I was the only
Okay.
in the projects.
Yes, yes.
5 years old, I'm carrying a knife to protect myself. I'm stealing food from the grocery store. It was already on a path that's what kids did, right? It
Yes, yes.
You're just falling into the norm of that situation. No any other situation. That's why I get angry when people say, well, you know, you can make choice. I'm like, you know what? When you're given very little choices,
yes, yes,
your mind is programmed to be violent. That's what you're going to perpetuate. So it's very rare when people like you are around so much of it and make a different choice. So it gets me angry when people say, you know, they tell me these things. That's why when I talk about harmony power, and they're like, I don't see how that's going to make a difference. I'm like, you know what? That piece of paper to that child who's getting nothing, it's
right.
everything. How dare you say that?
Right.
Or how dare you? That's why when you joined that dojo, someone believed in you.
Right, exactly.
And every piece of paper that you attained to, as you say, complete, built you into the human being that you are.
Absolutely.
We're not getting those pieces of paper are everything to these children.
Absolutely.
Enough of them. You only in schools, they only get acknowledged when they're super athletes or they're super smart.
Right.
I mean, it's what happened to the 70, 80%?
Right.
What community you're going into, right? So bullying's going on in all these communities.
Yes, indeed.
Violence is universal. The education system needs to change dramatically.
Yes, yes.
Teach self-love to these kids.
Right, exactly.
You can't, how can they learn if they don't love themselves? This is what I don't get.
That's right. That's right.
You're explaining this exactly to me. Like you're in hell. You found your piece of heaven.
Right, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
You just want, this is where I'm going, and nobody's going to stop me.
Right, right.
So what about those kids? The majority don't get the opportunities exactly correct what you said.
Right, right, exactly.
So you live by an example, you led by example, which is very apparent.
Right.
How did what you do impact the people you taught? I would say you probably taught by now in the thousands.
Yes, yes.
Right? You've lost count. Like I lost count myself. I don't know how many people.
Okay.
If you're teaching for, you know, I'm teaching, you know, maybe 40 years. You're probably teaching 50 plus years.
Yes, yeah, 50 plus years.
You're not even, but how many people do you feel that you've really touched? And do you have any particular stories of people that you guided that were so powerful that it just still sits in your head?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Well, actually, I know for a fact, John, that I changed life, but it was about me embracing that. When I say embracing that I'm making a difference. Because a lot of times, you know, John, as instructors, we just instruct. We just going. We don't, a lot of times we don't really recognize the changes that we making in somebody's life, right, or the changes that we have made. Okay, so when they come back from childs and grow into adults and they say, teacher, I'm still here. Thank you. You know, so in other words, they giving you your flowers while you're standing up vertical and not laid out horizontal.
Right.
So when they come back as many have come back to me and said, thank you, thank you. And I said, let me look deeper into this, because a lot of times we get so involved in what we're doing and how we're doing it till we don't even recognize the fact that what we're doing.
Right.
Okay. So we go like, So then we start to pay attention to that. And when we pay attention to that and sit down and reflect, because it's 3 rules that I say: reflect, connect, and then correct. And with those 3 rules, that once you make the internal connection and it's strong, it radiates and vibrates outside of you into others.
Right.
And this is how you build a community. You've built a community within yourself, and it just oozed out.
Right.
And connected.
Right.
That's why I say connect. See, but before you made that connection, John, you had to reflect on what you was doing. So once you reflect on what you were doing, you was able to reflect. After fully reflect, the next step was you connect.
Yes.
And then once you made that connection, then you was able to correct the people that comes around you and to you.
Well, it's a deeper understanding of being present.
Absolutely.
You have to know where you are to know where you're going.
Absolutely. And see, that's why I said the first thing is internal. So as we get deeper into study, we like, wow. Yeah. We start to like, we as teachers start to get it.
Right.
Because it's a lifelong lesson, and we're still getting it.
Right.
You don't stop getting it until you return to the essence. And then even if you physically return to the essence, you done passed it on to somebody else. That's how you experience eternal life.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's really beautifully said.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, And one thing I said about racism, have I ever experienced that? I'm gonna tell you like this, John. When we was going to tournaments, there was always Black, white, Asian. There was multitude of people. Let's take even at Alex Goldberg's event. Let's take at George Santa Maria event, Empire State. John, you know as well as I know, there was every color, creed, style, everything.
So true.
So what that did, John, we was able to embrace bigger than society taught us how to embrace. We looked at each other as we are, as brothers.
Right.
We didn't see color.
No, it wasn't like that.
Absolutely. We saw martial art brothers and sisters.
Right.
So, and we would see each other. We haven't seen each other in a long time. We would embrace, hey, we would embrace, and we would tell each other great skills. I don't believe in luck. I don't say good luck. The reason why I say luck is something to me that's mysterious. I say great skills because, again, it's all about this. If you don't put in the work, how are you going to develop your skills?
That's right. You have to complete that. I always say we're co-creators.
Absolutely.
We're creating all the time. And now in order to manifest, you have to actively manifest whatever it is you're trying to achieve. You can't just think about it. You have to physically do the work.
That's right. And then before we can do the work, we have to first come through a stage of self-discovery. We have to discover that we are capable of doing the work. And once we become capable of doing the work, then we can just continue to do the work and pass it on.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just a thought that comes to my mind, right? So you overcame this incredible adversity. You guided others to do the same, right? So that's really what and you and I, we spent our lives doing that.
Yes.
I'm honoring you. But here's the thought too, no matter what circumstance a person could be in a situation where they're in an affluent community and they're terribly abused by their parents or their peers, whatever it might be. So the prisons that people talk about, I think is a mental prison. So you could be in a place where there's gunshots going on everywhere.
Yes.
Right. So you can live in fear. You get up every day and just go with courage, like I'm not getting shot today, and I'm going to school, I'm going to be fine.
Right.
Well, you could be in a house where you could, dealing with physical and emotional abuse, and you're in that prison. You get up every day and you facing your fear. But it's about those that choose to truly internalize and not internalize that pain. And those who learn to forgive those who have caused that pain so that they can move on.
Absolutely.
But I find that the pain and the adversity is our power. Without that, there's no evolution. Without pain, there's nothing. Learn that in Karate Do. Like you go from pain and suffering to advance, but good pain. Obviously, you don't want to hurt yourself. But this is what I've come to realize is that whenever I'm dealing with adversity, even now, I smile. I'm like, okay, this is great. Whatever it might be.
Right.
And truthfully, what I feel that people fear the most and the biggest struggle is the relationships.
Right.
That either create or destroy us.
Right. Absolutely.
We embrace the differences as we're talking about. And it's, race, color, creed, sexual orientation, infinite differences that humanity has. And we can embrace that. Then the world becomes what it's supposed to become.
Absolutely. And I wanted to elaborate. See, first of all, fear. Fear is like fire. And it's about perception. Fear is about how you perceive it. It can cook for you or it can burn you the hell up.
Right.
Okay. And then another thing I want to say is you cannot get the blessing without first understanding the lesson.
That's right.
Okay. So everything is a lesson.
That's right.
If you don't get the lesson, you're first and foremost, you're bound to repeat it.
That's right.
So you can't experience or get the blessing without first getting the lesson. See what the difference is? We got the lesson and we're still going to get it. Okay. And then see, when we talk to our students, we don't give like what we got. We got homework, work that you do at home. But as we internalize in these teachings of Karate Do, you know what we give now? We give what you call heart work, work that you do from the heart. That's the difference between homework and heart work. You understand? So we got, us teachers, we got homework, work that we can do at home, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. But now that we mastered homework, we said, no, we're going to now give heart work, work that you have to do from the heart, that you can really see the blessings and feel it in your heart. So when we teach, we don't teach over the head of the student. We teach from heart to heart.
That's right.
As us, when we met each other, it was a heartfelt connection.
Right. Exactly. It wasn't.
And that's the thing. Even if we didn't understand it at that time, John,
right,
we knew that one day we made the connection and it's going to reconnect us as it did today. Right.
That's exactly.
Right. And that's the universal lesson.
That's right.
Yes.
I live that way, and I've had, so many, as you have, incredible magic moments my whole life.
Right.
You have to be open to what that is. So the key to that heart connection is connecting to their own heart first.
Absolutely. Indeed.
They discover loving who they are and where they're at.
Yes, you're right.
That regardless of the pain and suffering they're enduring. And when they just accept, okay, this is where I'm at, I'm going to make the most of it.
Right.
I'm going to make it great. I'm going to make it amazing. And you have to stand up with courage.
Right.
Endure whatever that is in order to.
That's right.
Right. So I believe that we're all born into this reality. I mean, I also believe we live over and over again. That's a separate belief system. I don't.
Yes.
But we come into this reality to endure that. And when we are fearing, like you said, fear could be used different ways. I think fear is a beautiful thing to navigate.
Yes, it is.
And when you use to build yourself.
Cook for you. Right.
Beautiful thing.
Right.
Like, we're teaching the same thing, almost the same language, which is certainly an unexpected, refreshing show to have for myself. So it's not just, but I do want to say this to you. I do want to say that this only affirms why I'm going to give you this. I'm going to send this to you.
Hi, beautiful. Hi.
This award it's unlike any other type of award you can ever get in your life.
Yes.
This says, Kyoshi Derrick Williams has been awarded this certificate for dedication, commitment, and
Yeah.
outstanding efforts in promoting harmony in the world.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
On a grand scale, your whole life.
Thank you.
And that to me is what it's about. You know, when they say master, first of all, I don't believe in any masters. And it's
Yes,
just,
exactly. Likewise.
I learned, I'm still trying to figure out to throw a punch, right?
Yes, you're right. Exactly.
I'm like, I'm on an infinite journey. So but if there's a such thing, Sensei,
Right.
I would say this to you. It's those that are helping others to transform their existence. They're guiding their transformations, and they've been doing that their whole life. That is a master.
Yes.
Such thing as that. Because there are those that can, you know, as you know, no matter how skilled we get, there's always better than us.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed.
Like, you know what? I'm done with that kind of competition in my head. It's actually ego nonsense.
Yes.
It's like, I just want to get better in me.
Yes.
But help guide others to transform is so much more enjoyable.
Indeed.
And
right.
That's what we've done for thousands. So as of today, you're getting a Harmony Power Award. And I am thrilled and honored to acknowledge such a special human being.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you
Really
so much.
Remarkable. Really,
Thank you so much, Sensei. Thank you so much.
So appropriate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it from the heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. どうもありがとうございました。Thank you.